After this case study about mass customization at Procter & Gamble in the case of Reflect.com, let's look a little bit more general at the concept and see really how the market developed and how mass customization is different from other production concepts. So, as a definition, I already told you that we can define mass customization as producing goods and or providing services to meet individual customer needs with near mass production efficiency. And that the idea is really to profit from exploiting heterogeneities around customers' need. An important differentiation at this point. Very often mass customization is defined as really being delivered by on-demand or customized manufacturing. That whatever a customer demands is produced just for her or himself, for him, in a one-of-a-kind manufacturing process. But this not always has to be the case. What is important is that the customer experiences the product or service we provide as a company is really fitting his or her needs. If for some reasons, perhaps it's possible or even cheaper to deliver this experience and perception from a big warehouse with a lot of variants. That's okay as well. In the end, consumers don't care how the product is being produced. They just want what they want when they want it. Let's explore a little bit this value of customization for consumers. And let's take again the example of my custom jeans produced by Levi Strauss for just $65. Chamberlain and Lancaster, some famous scholars, economists actually, that really provided us a lot of insight and theory about how customers value different products, told us that a product is actually not a product, and then customers like me are not buying the jeans because of its fabrics and the yarns and the quality of manufacturing. No, actually what we want is more. We don't want the physical product, but we want to be covered. We want to look cool. We want perhaps just the utility of a comfortable pair of trousers to keep us warm and not having us to go around naked. So what we buy as a customer is actually not a product, but a bundle of characteristics expressed by the product. And these scholars say that customers have an ideal idea, an ideal point of their product. And let's say, it's a very simple model, the market for jeans is just characterized by 3 dimensions. There's a fashion aspect. Is it really the latest fit, or is it more timeless or, let's say, old-fashioned style? How does the jeans really sit on the body? Is it really very fit and tight on the body, or is it a little bit more comfortable, as I prefer it, and a little bit more loose? And what about the price point? Some people really want an expensive jeans to impress others. Others are not willing to pay too much, or perhaps also not able to pay too much. So the price can be seen as a third dimension, perhaps also representing the quality of the garment or the quality of manufacturing. And let's say, for me, Frank, the ideal point is something like P-star in this model. So you see, I'm a very average guy. I want an average price, an average fashion, and an average fit. And then I enter a store and that's just, let's say, has only 4 products. The blue dots here, 1 to 4. And then there's not a product that really represents my ideal point perfectly, but if I find it, I probably will settle with product 1 as a compromise I have to take is smallest. Perhaps next there's product 2, but with product 3 and 4, the distance to my ideal point is pretty large. And so the value of mass customization is that I don't have to compromise, but if the manufacturer is able to do so, that exactly my ideal point is produced. But we can see this picture also differently. Think about how traditionally customers are segmented. Normally, if I'm a mass producer, I would go into these markets and I would try to analyze how my customers really are distributed along these dimensions. And I would measure it and cluster them, and I would have fine cluster of customers, and now the blue dots are customer groups, not products any longer. And so I would have one customer group like the number 4. Let's say that's a typical, perhaps young fashion buyer. They want cheap products that they can buy a lot. They should be the latest style, and they would be really close and sexy to the body. Then you have others, like the number 3, persons that are really willing to pay a lot for good quality, that want a lot of comfort and really a timeless fashion. And some other segments in between. So traditionally what we would do is, would by market research, gather the information, create these 4 segments, and then create a variant for each of these segments. But of course, there's not everyone in this segment has exactly the same idle point. It may really span without a larger space, so you always have to compromise. And again, the idea of mass customization is that consumers don't have to compromise, but they get exactly what they want, their ideal point. And this is really different from other paths and models of industrial production. And this is a picture I learned from Joseph Pine, some of the father of mass customization. And he shared this in a foreword to a book I published early in German in 1997 on mass customization. And he said in this foreword to my book, there are 4 paths or models of industrial development. And the structure here is that Joe Pine is distinguishing the rate of change of the manufacturing processes and the rate of change of products. So high rate of change meaning a high variety, low stable mean a situation where you just have very little choice. So he said, really our manufacturing system and industrial system started with craft manufacturing. Before we had the Industrial Revolution, we only had craft. And you know what? We only had custom. As the beauty of a craft manufacturing system is that you really produce by handicraft what each customer wants. So, and Joe Pine called it an invention system. However, then, because of the sake of the Industrial Revolution, we got mass production. And what is mass production? It's stability. It really means to learn about a process, set it up, and run it unchanged for many, many years, if possible. And also have a few, if possible, just one product that you always repeatedly produce and produce. The big advantage, economies of scale and rather low prices. So this is exactly what was happening, and this was exactly what was enabling a lot of people to participate in consumption and really buy products at an affordable price. Then many years later, there was continuous improvement as taught us by the Japanese leading companies with the lean manufacturing systems. So these Japanese manufacturers told us, well, it's not really so much about variety, but once you have a process, you should continuously improve it and really try to achieve the best possible product. And so lean manufacturing, and this is really here is lean, is often traditionally a process which has rather stable product assortments, but where you systematically, incrementally improve your processes. And let's say a company really went from the invention model, had introduced a mass production model, and then continuously improved its processes, then we come to mass customization. So mass customization by definition means we really have a high variety here, but at the same time, we want to do it with stable processes. It's a change in the processes that is really incurring the high cost of craft or engineer to order also. So, and how is this done? By modularization. I'll come to this, but it's a core principle of mass customization that by modular product structures, modular product architectures, you can combine economies of scale of producing the components and models in high volumes with economies of scope by combining these different standardized components to a lot of different products. However, as Joan Pine told us, mass customization is not the end. At one point, you have to go back to invention. You have to go back to the craft manufacturing model. Why? As from time to time, we really have disruptive changes of technology. We really get new access to manufacturing technologies that break with what we previously had. So if such a change occurs, then a company has to go back to the invention model, really defines a new product space, learns about it, stabilizes it, continuously improves it, modularizes it, and then is again at a position of mass customization. That's an important chart that helped me a lot to really understand how mass customization is different, both from the invention model, craft manufacturing, tailor-made or engineered to order, but also how it's different to mass production or lean manufacturing. So much to theory. Where is this all being applied? Well, there are plenty of products beyond the jeans. I just brought you a few old examples. This is a Queer shoe that was one of the first customizable shoes, launched 1997 by an entrepreneur in Germany, and many other companies followed. Nike, Adidas, Puma, Reebok, a lot of dress shoe manufacturers as well. That's a company that allows you to customize your lipstick. There's Mars and M&M's. They allow you to customize the M&M's. You even can print your picture on an individual M&M. There are companies that allow you to customize watches, and we'll talk about those later. This is an interesting case. And many other products. If you want to see really where customization is applied, there are two good websites. There's a configuratordatabase.com, a huge repository by a small company in Vienna, and they have up to now really documented almost 1,000 different online configurators. And if there's a product customizable, you find it there. Or if you by chance speak German, or at least understand German, there's a great site, ego.de, where a very ambitious blogger shares a lot of product tests. It's like a consumer portal for customization offerings. And if you look, for example, in the configurator database, what kind of products are offered there in the consumer good market, you find a lot of clothing and apparel. Why? Well, there the value of customization is quite obvious. You want that a shirt, for example, really fits. Perhaps you even want some functional fabric, performance characteristics, but also our style preferences and aesthetic demands to a product are really different. There's a lot in the home and garden, but also in the food segment. Why food? Well, it's probably functional, allergies, but also taste. Products where we have a big heterogeneities of demand, as well as paper and offers, and so on. Footwear, as I mentioned. However, we also have to forget that there are entire industries where everyone is doing customization. This actually is one of the strengths of Germany and our manufacturing system. We can't compete in Germany with Asian manufacturers of machinery components on the price level. But we can very well compete on differentiation, that we really provide machine tools, machines, equipment that really fits to the specific demands of an existing manufacturing, that really helps a client to improve his operational efficiency by a customized piece of equipment. And the same is true for components that become part of other products. Often the product designer wants a specific design for that component. And so you have companies like Festo in Germany or Sandvik in Scandinavia. And those are companies with excellent mass customization production systems. They may not call it mass customization, but really they found that it's possible to deliver customized product at a very good price in very large scale. And I said it briefly at the beginning, I have now almost 20 years in mass customization. Perhaps even a little bit longer if I think about it. Time is passing quickly. And we're talking since many years about mass customization. But perhaps it's now the right time to watch this video, as perhaps mass customization is finally here. Well, I'm saying this since almost 15 years. But we saw different generations of mass customization, and nowadays there are really a lot of consultants that say after a lot of attempts, a lot of trials, we now have mass customization. Here in a now a little bit older study by Forrester Research, a big analyst, who says mass customization is finally the future of products. Why? As this analyst argues, there was a lot of experience required, both on the company side, but also on the consumer side, to learn about the internet, flexible manufacturing, to develop the demand for some of these products, and it's finally here. McKinsey recently published a big white paper that new technologies like 3D printing, artificial intelligence, big data is really driving the next wave of mass customization. The European community, like in this report, but in many, many projects, invested heavily in research on mass customized manufacturing. Why? Well, as it may save jobs in Europe, as customized products are often produced really close to the markets. And many, many consulting companies like Bain and so on publish studies really arguing for the case for customized products. And they bring the typical arguments I also shared with you earlier. However, in most of these studies, the idea of mass customization is reduced to tangible product. And this is also all what I talked about before and what I really brought here, a watch, pair of shoes, M&Ms, all tangible products. However, the idea of mass customization is much larger than those products. Think about credit cards. Capital One became the #1 issuer of credit cards by its ability to customize the credit card contract to each individual consumer, both his or her willingness to take a credit, to his willingness to pay, to the demand for extra services. We are now in the automotive industry moving from selling cars to selling mobility. Movil is a site by Daimler, Mercedes-Benz. And they say in the future perhaps you don't buy a car, but you get a mobility service. And you just want to go from A to B. And this app and the services behind enable you to come corresponding to your mobility profile and your demands as efficient or as cheaply from A to B. And this in the end is personalizing at a large scale the service of mobility. A huge trend is personalized health, both with regard to customized pharmaceuticals, because we have better analytics and also the ability to do this, but also because of all the data your watch, your smartwatch, your smartphone is collecting about you, your Fitbit stuff here, and all this data helps you also to provide recommendation to consumers for a better, more wellness-orientated life. And all this somehow is customizing the service of medicine or health. My industry as a professor will change to become much more customized because it's exactly the thing you were just watching, the MOOCs. As if you have all these teaching videos. Well, as a student, you are not required to follow one curriculum of one university, but you can customize your curriculum according to your taste and really to your demand and benefits. And I predict that there will be a big market for online configurators for education that really help a student to pick from all the offerings of these MOOCs just the courses she really wants to learn or has to learn for her future job. So, how you have to consider mass customization is perhaps larger than just configuring a custom consumer product. Perhaps we have to acquire mass customization thinking, as the elements of mass customization are behind many, many business models. Think about it. Facebook is a large mass customization site. They are able to do for more than 1 billion users a custom experience, a custom Facebook page, and all this with a very scalable, robust system behind. So you should watch the following modules from this perspective of mass customization thinking. Even And that's my argument. Even if you're not going to make custom sneakers, custom jeans, or other custom products, you can still benefit from the principles behind mass customization as they really empower plenty of business models nowadays. And now to the bad side. We saw also a lot of mass customization that really no one needed. It's just doing it is not enough. And perhaps you Google this very nice article in Fast Company in US Magazine, saying you can customize coffee, granola, suits and shoes, but does it mean that you should? As this is something where we as a mass customization research community, but especially a lot of entrepreneurs, really made a mistake. Customization per se provides no value to consumers. As I said earlier, consumers don't care how the product is being produced. It's about the value it's creates. And therefore, we should become a little bit more critical in really asking, is this customized solution really delivering value? Or perhaps are there other points in a product space, in this room that creates the ideal point of a customer that are better suited and first should be addressed? We'll explore this in the next video module.